Hello everyone, I am Giulia. I am from Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. Actually, I have been working here for some months now, and I am here today with Federica and Kashif. I will definitely present them a little later. So today's topic is our medicine and surgery degree program in Rome. And the webinar is starting right now. So, first thing, as I said, I'm Julia, and Kashif is a four-year medicine and surgery student. He's going to be one of our main guests today, actually. Together with Federica, you don't see her here, but she is going to be answering some of your questions. Well, info session, first of all, please use the Q&A button, not the chat, to ask your questions so that Federica can answer the questions. And that would be it as the instructions on how to make questions to Federica and to me as well. We're obviously also gonna have a Q&A session later. So definitely we'll be getting there with your answers soon, okay? So, medicine and surgery. First things first, where is it? So Kashif is actually in Rome because Rome is our main campus for what regards medicine. It's our oldest medicine campus. Definitely a good city if you want to study medicine because of the connection with the Policlinico Gemelli. We are going to go into deeper details later on. But we also have Bolzano, which is, if you see, in the top of the mountains, actually, because it's kind of in the mountains. It's in the north of Italy. So there's two different programs. That's the first news. But we are going to talk about Rome for most of the webinar, okay? So, why should you study medicine in Italy and in Cattolica? We will start by studying medicine in Cattolica. So, we have an internationally recognized quality of teaching, okay? We are ranked in the top 200 medicine and surgery programs in the world, actually, according to QS Global Ranking by Subject. So it's a pretty good ranking. We are very happy and proud of it. We are a private university, but that also means that we have more freedom to do what we want with regards to entrance exam dates, to how to admit students. So, for instance, exams results, entrance exams results for us come earlier than other universities, which have to follow the public procedure, okay? Our own entrance exam is not the IMAT, so you can take both actually, but absolutely, our results are out earlier than others, okay? Another very important topic is our exceptional student faculty ratio. We only have 110 students in class in Rome, and actually it's even less in Bolzano. In Bolzano, we have 50 students maximum. So very intimate classroom, I would say, and it's definitely something that we will explore with Kashif a little later on. High retention rate because our students are really selected at the beginning, so usually they will finish the course when they start it. We offer a better service to international students. Maybe if you compare them to public universities, usually it would be better. We offer support for visas. We offer support for study abroad opportunities. So we have a lot of services. We are actually going to go a little bit into deeper detail later. But I would say the last reason I'm going to say, it's not exactly the least, last but not least, the university hospital is the Policlinico Gemelli. So your life is going as a medical student will start right in Policlinico Gemelli, which is a very, very highly renowned place in Italy to get your your doctor's appointments, your visits. It's actually one of the biggest university hospitals in Italy. That means you have early access to patients. There's 100% medical atmosphere. There's an opportunity to observe, train, learn from doctors, researchers, professors, administrators, and Kashif is definitely going to have to say something later about this one. So I would say the last point is one of the most important points. Why should you study in Italy, actually? So why should you study in Cattolica? Pardon. Other 3 points is that one, we have 37 faculty members listed among the top Italian scientists. This means that the research that we do in Università Cattolica Policlinico Gemelli Hospital is good research by people who actually know what they're doing, and they're doing it very well. They're highly cited. We also have study abroad opportunities in Rome. You see the double degree program that we have with TJU in Philadelphia, Thomas Jefferson University. And as I said, world's best hospital 2024 rankings ranked our Università Cattolica Policlinico Gemelli Hospital as a top 35 and the best hospital in Italy. So very, very nice. So let's talk about the program in Rome, okay? What are the characteristics, the peculiarities of the medicine and surgery program in Rome? Well, of course, the campus and the hospital. It is taught completely in English, and you can do your internship in English and in Italian. So you can do both, okay? The applications will open, actually, we are already open. They opened on October 23rd, and they will be closing in the second half of February 2025. In particular, we are going to close on the 21st of February. So more info on that will be also talked about later. The entrance exam is going to be on March 18th. Again, more info will come later. And there's 110 places available. In order to register for the entrance exam and see if you actually qualify for the entrance exam, you have to go through an application and you have to pay an application fee of 200 euros. That would be, I would say, the key points and the key peculiarities of the medicine and surgery Rome program, okay? The entry requirements, that's another very important thing. People ask me about this all the time when I go around in fairs. In Italy, you have to have a minimum of 12 years of schooling. So that means if you have 11, you're definitely gonna have to ask us about the options, because it's not like you can't apply for our medicine and surgery program. You just have to go through a foundation year first. But again, we're here to help you with any questions about this one, okay? Another one is the language proficiency. We ask for an IELTS or TOEFL usually, so an English certificate proficiency, English certificate of proficiency, pardon again. And usually we ask for a B2. The specific grades that you have to get in order for you to be qualified. We're gonna talk about them later on, but usually it would be a B2 as a minimum level, okay? There is no specific subject or grade required on your transcript, which makes it really, really easy for you to apply. So you don't have to take chemistry, biology, or stuff like that. You don't have to take them if you don't have them in your curriculum. Of course, we encourage you to do that if you want to prepare for our entrance exam and to study medicine in general, but that doesn't mean that we look at it. And you need to pass the entrance exam. So the one thing that we actually look at when we decide whether you are eligible to be one of our students is the entrance exam score, and you have to pass it with a minimum of 20 out of 65, okay? The offers are made according to the position that you have on the ranking. So of course, when you take the entrance exam, you're going to be placed on a ranking, okay? And there's two different rankings, one for EU students and one for the non-EU students. We're going to talk about this later on as well, but you have to be careful of where you have to put to what ranking you belong to. So in general, if you have a EU passport, the EU passport will prevail. So we will look at your passports if you have two. If you only have one, of course, it's easier for you to understand where you are. So when do you apply? As I said before, we opened applications on the 23rd of October, and the application deadline is the 21st. I think I said 22nd earlier on, so I correct myself. And the entrance exam, as I said, would be March 18th, 2025, okay? And the other question that we always get is, when would the entrance exam results be published? So for the EU pool, we will be publishing them from April 4, 2025. And for the non-EU pool, it will be from the 7th of April, 2025. Okay. If you have any other questions, or if you need any other information, you can definitely ask on the Q&A or scan the QR code here. Okay. So how to apply? Actually, we're gonna make another webinar on December 12. So in a couple of weeks, we will go through the whole process. But for reference, you will have to follow 4 or 5 different steps. It's actually 5, I think. You will open the international.unicat.it website and start your application by creating your account and fill out the online application form. We usually require the documents that you will also read on this slide. That would be the copy of your passports if more than one, the official high school transcripts, the high school diploma if you already have graduated, and the evidence of language proficiency if already available. That means that usually we have a time span until which you can upload the a language proficiency certificate, and even if you take the test and you don't have the English proficiency certificate yet, it is no issue for us. There is going to be a timeline and a deadline where you have to apply. You have to upload the document, okay? You're gonna have to pay the 200 euros application fee to start the evaluation procedure. That's going to be the fourth step, and then submit your application. It's going to be a really easy process. So even applying to take the test is not going to be a hassle for many of you, okay? If you are ready to apply, you can scan the QR code to access our application platform. So if you need anything, of course, you can refer to us as well. And I think it is all from my side about how to apply. Another important information that I will want to give you now is the entrance exam and how the entrance exam is composed, okay? The written test consists of 65 multiple choice questions. They are divided as you see on the presentation, but usually the subjects that you're going to be tested on would be biology, chemistry, physics, maths, general knowledge. There's going to be psychoattitudinal subjects as well. So for instance, problem solving or logic. There's going to be 5 questions on religious and ethical culture. Usually, candidates will have 65 minutes to complete the test. As I said before, it is not the IMAT, it is not the TLC, it is not any other form of exam, it is our own exam, okay? One thing that we know for sure is that the test is going to be administered online for EU students and for non-EU students. Both the schools are going to be taking the test online, okay? So how to prepare for this entrance exam? There is some official material that you can find on our institutional website. There is an online simulator that you will have available after you submit your application with 3,000 questions. So definitely something to take advantage of when you submit your application. And then there's a third way. If you feel like you're not prepared enough, if you feel like you should prepare yourself a little bit, study a little more, we also have some preparation courses that our partner usually administers for us. Of course, we also have a QR code because we have a QR code for everything. So if you need any information about our partners preparation courses, absolutely feel free to contact us and them directly and have a look at the QR code and the webpage that the QR code links to. Then, how much is a year at Cattolica right now for what regards the medicine and surgery program? Well, this is easy because there is a flat tuition fee per year of 18,000 euros, okay? This means that we don't have many different tuition fees. It's just this one, okay? We also provide, during this webinar and during these kind of presentations, we also provide an estimate of the living costs per year. So you can see it's ranging about from 15,000 to 17,000 euros, depending on, of course, your lifestyle. And we also have financial aid and further scholarship opportunities, and they are administered and provided by Educat. So if you need any information about this, you can definitely refer to educat.eu, sorry. And I think we will have to go through the student experience because that's basically the whole point of the webinar. So I am very happy to introduce Kashif. Kashif is, as I said, a student. He's currently enrolled in the 4th year. He is from India, and I think one of the main reasons he's here is because he's a very enthusiast, I would say, student, and he can definitely talk about his experience. He's also a member, a board member and social media manager for the Indian Association here in Cattolica. So he's very into the life at Cattolica. So that's the reason we chose Gashif in particular. And I will definitely leave the space to Kashif if you want to say hi, and then I will go ahead with the questions, okay?
Thank you so much for the introduction, Julia, and hello to everyone who is attending the webinar. It feels glad that, once when I was in a position to seek information from the university and apply and find out how the life is, to now being in a place where I'll be providing information to the rest of you. So it feels great, and welcome again to the webinar, everyone.
Thank you very much, Kashif. So, my first question, we will be doing a little interview today actually, is what motivated you to pursue a degree in medicine and how did you choose this specific program among the others?
Okay, so from school, when I was in year 10, from the sciences like physics, chemistry, and biology, I understood that biology was something I enjoyed, and in the future, I could make something out of it. Moreover, my own mother is a doctor, so learning experiences from her and understanding how clinics work was something that added to my interest. And during COVID, when everything was online, everything was digital, you didn't have to go anywhere to get physical experience. So my school had partnered up with with a virtual med society that introduced a virtual doctor shadowing program. So doctors from like different countries would come and talk about their experiences, and they will just introduce us to the types of patients they've met, what procedures they carry on, and have like a question answer session. So it was a very informative session which I've had, which confirmed my interest in medicine. And you also have many videos available on YouTube which give you an insight of the life of doctors. So a lot of reasons which solidified my career to choose medicine.
This is very interesting, and I guess COVID really helped some of us. Some of us, it destroyed us for some reason, but some of us it also helped. So I'm very happy that it turned out like that for you. So my question would be, how do you like Cattolica, and what's your favorite part of being a student in Cattolica?
The Cattolica is an amazing university, and my favorite part is hands down the Gemelli Hospital. The professors, out of which many of them would be practicing doctors, they are very approachable. They will get on to understanding your problems on a personal level, and some of them also allow us to connect with residents in the hospital and allow us to shadow various departments. For example, when I was in third year, I was able to undergo the shadowing of an emergency department and see different patients for like 2 or 3 hours, and they're very flexible with the timings also. You can come and go as you please, stay as many hours as you want, and interact with the residents, get to know so many things. And the hospital also has like a training center where they conduct practical simulations, because when I was again in second year, they had CPR drills on a mannequin, and also an entire simulated emergency room where you had to rescue a patient from shock, and a team of like 6 7 people would work and try to rescue the simulated patient. So it's like provides a incredible hands-on learning without really using cadavers.
It's definitely something very interesting to me as well personally, and it confirms what I said before. So early access to the medical fund side, not only studying on books, but early access to medical fun life. Okay, so the other question that I would have for you is, what is your favorite and what is your least favorite part of the academic curriculum so far in these 4 years?
Okay, so my favorite and the least favorite part of the curriculum would be the same, the exam system. My favorite part is that you get unlimited attempts. So there's no pressure of, hitting a maximum number of attempts you could give, or, you have to pass these exams in a deadline, or like you have to pass these many exams at this particular date. I could give an exam which I have not passed 2 or 3 years ago also, and also follow the syllabus which I am following this year. And on this is the best part. The worst part would be that the syllabus for the main subjects for which you study for all the time for your exams could be a bit overwhelming, because it's only split into like few exams. In those few exams, you'll have the entirety of the semester syllabus. So that's like something which kind of I have to work also with it, and also try to pass my exams without extending too many deadlines. But I know that's a feature where I could give the exam as many times as I want. But at the same time, you need to pass the fewer exams, which has a large content of syllabus. So it's both pros and cons.
Absolutely. And this is a peculiarity of the Italian high school, higher education system, actually. It's not only, I say this for the purpose of information for our prospective students. Actually, it's not only the Policlinico Gemelli Università Cattolica Hospital Medicine and Surgery program, it's every single program that you will find on 99% of the Italian universities. They're going to have the same system. So thank you very much, Kashif. I would say that another question that I think is very useful for prospective students is, could you share a specific skill or a lesson from this experience that you have learned and that you think will be invaluable in your future career? And I think it has to do a lot with what you said before, right?
Hmm. So when I moved to Rome, I was only like what, 18 years old, and that taught me a lot of things, primarily being learning how to be independent and trying to manage my time better. So these are like the most important life skills according to me, which are way beyond academics because they also help in making decisions, adapting to new environments, and staying on top of the responsibilities you have as a med student. Obviously, studying for more hours than what I did in high school was something I picked up, but you need to know that balance is the key. So when you know how you manage your time and just understand how environments work around you and you're ready to adapt to it, and at the same time you don't overwhelm yourself, I feel that the course of medicine wouldn't be as bad as you would imagine. It would be way better.
That's interesting. Thank you very much, Kashif. What's your favorite subject actually so far?
Anatomy.
I
Contrary to what people say, anatomy is like the best subject, and also understanding how, like different human body have different muscles, joints, nerves, and understanding also like how they function with the brain. And it's the complexity is something I really like about the course.
Yeah, I would imagine. I don't know why, but I thought it would be this your answer to this question. Okay. So another question that will definitely help our students is, well, Italian for life and for clinicals. How are you managing the language barrier? Because some people, many people actually, who may not know Italian at the moment, they will be probably asking themselves, what if I don't know Italian? What if I can't learn Italian on time before, moving to Italy? How did you do that?
So do not worry about that because I was once in their position where I did not know like the basics of the language. But I can say that since we know how to speak in English, picking up Italian becomes a lot easier. That the fact that you know English is a huge boost to us, especially from just daily interactions where you can learn from the streets when you're over here. You can learn to say the most basic phrases, for example, asking for a coffee. So that's a good starting point. But before coming here, I also recommend you could start your practice in Duolingo, and also so many YouTube videos are available which gives you like the basics of how the political grammar works, how you're supposed to say the sentences, what the basic phrases means. And for clinicals, during third year, there's a course, the Italian language course, which is designed to teach us the most commonly used phrases, the medical terminology, and how to take a patient's history in Italian.
Very good. Yeah, well, I mean, the fact is, Italian may not sound that difficult, or it may sound very hard depending on where you come from. But I would imagine, coming from India, it's probably not the easiest language to learn. So definitely do start soon if you're planning on coming to Italy. There is this knowledge that Italians don't really speak English, and it's not really completely true 100%. There's some part of the population, the eldest, I would say, that do not really speak English. But in cities like Milan and Rome, it's very common to find Italians who speak English. So don't worry about that. That's a personal note to the questions that I'm doing and I'm making took a shift in this case. So another one, you may remember sitting the entrance exam and how you felt about it. So, what advice do you have for prospective students to ace in it?
Okay, so the entrance exam of Cattolica focuses on the high school level science and the math which you have learned, science being physics, chemistry, biology. There's nothing extra you need to study. It's just what you've been learning from like year 11 and 12, at least in my case. And apart from this, as Julia mentioned, the pattern, it includes logic, reasoning, and theology. But the university provides a lot of sample materials, and like she said, 3,000 questions, so that's more than enough to make you familiar with the pattern of the exam. Personally, for me, I had also applied with Cattolica to other universities in Europe, being like Hungary and Czech Republic, and they also focus on the high school level of your knowledge, particularly being science. So with me having experience with different exams, my biggest advice I would give is trust your preparation, use the materials provided by the university, and just be confident in whatever you know from your high school levels and don't stress too much. It's just an exam, and practice makes all the difference.
Definitely. And if you feel like you haven't prepared that much, Selexi, our partner that I was mentioning before, also gives a real good hand. Well, for instance, there's high school systems around the world where you're not obliged to take certain subjects like maths or chemistry or biology. For one, I haven't really taken that much of biology or chemistry, so knowing that we also have some prep courses, even if, the last time you studied chemistry was like 3,000 years ago, that would be something that would, calm me down a little bit. If you want to go into medicine, you can definitely prepare with us as well. So last question, Kashif, but I think it's the most fun question. How did you make friends in this international environment, and what's the international community like in Cattolica Rome?
Okay. The university has a diverse international community, starting from the Italians, of course. Italians, Indians, Arabs, Brazilians, Asians, so many more. These are just like the ones I remember, but it's much more than that. And my advice to make friends in an environment like this is to keep an open mind, socialize as much as you can, especially during your first few months in Rome. Get to know people from different cultures, and you will naturally find those people who you can connect with and who you can, feel a bit comfortable around yourself. And by socializing and having an open mind, you also get to know about other countries and traditions which you may have never thought you would come across, or get to know peculiar things about different cultures.
Yeah, you're also the board member of the Indian organization. So there are international organizations in Rome. I guess there's an Indian, and do you know if there's any other international association like this one?
As for now, it's the only association in Rome is for the Indian, but the university itself also hosts many events for like the freshers to be a part of the university. Right now, there's like a buddy initiative program run by the third years, which help the freshers to be accommodated. And obviously, we Indians in the association also, we have hosted the Diwali event right now, due to which many first years got to know many different people, and they celebrated a tradition which they would have imagined to celebrate with a lot of international friends. So it's a lot of fun, especially over here.
That is very nice to know. And I hope that our students also grasp that there's a lot of fun going on in Rome as well. Also, that it's not just studying.
Definitely not.
It's definitely also about meeting people and, have fun together and study, yes, but also have a lifetime experience. Okay, Kashif, we ran out of our own questions, but I see there's like 30. Did I read it right? 38 questions. So we will choose among some of them. So I will ask Fede if you have some questions that are for me or for Kashif.
Yeah, sure. So we actually received many questions from our audience, both for Julia and for Kashif. So I think that we can go through them because they're actually really interesting. So I will start from actually a basic one. We actually mentioned this topic, but I think it's useful to refresh it because this is a very important piece of information. So Julia, this one is for you. So a couple of students are asking what are the entry requirements for the program?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as I mentioned, the 12th year of schooling, so global schooling, that would mean from elementary school to finishing high school. That would be the one. Then you have to finish your high school, of course. And if you haven't finished your high school yet, we usually look at the transcripts from the previous year. And there are some diplomas, high school diplomas, who have um, particular entry requirements. For instance, the IB diploma, the American diploma, the Canadian diploma, those have different entry requirements. They have some extra entry requirements, but definitely everything that you will have to know about entry requirements for this kind of high school degrees, you are gonna have them on the website. So go check the website and the entry requirements section of the medicine and surgery program in Rome for further information. And as I said, the English certificate for proficiency, for language proficiency, usually IELTS would be a 6 and TOEFL would be an 84. And those are the two certificates that most of you usually get when it comes to university studies. So that would be the third entry requirement because I said two. And nothing else, if I am not wrong. Fede, correct me if I'm wrong again, but there's nothing else. So applying for the entrance exam is kind of fairly easy, and you don't really have to gather too much documents or too much information. It's just that you have to pass the entrance exam, and that's definitely the main thing that we look at. Your points and the score that you get on the entrance exam are going to define whether you make it or not, more than the requirements that we look at when you ask to be part of the entrance exam.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, talking about the entry requirements and about the IELTS and TOEFL, some students are asking if they still need an official language certificate, even if they are studying in English.
Absolutely not in this case. So we know many of you study completely in English in international schools or stuff like that. Usually, or maybe you're from a country like the US or the UK where English is the main language of instruction. In this case, you don't need an English certificate. We usually check your diploma, and if you come from a country where English is not the first language of teaching, but your institution has the course that you're taking right now, the high school diploma that you're taking is entirely in English. We usually either know the institution and we see the institution and we check the institution that we come from, or usually we also ask for a certificate from the institution specifying that everything you have studied so far is in English, okay? And you were taught in English from A to Z. So that would be an exception to the rule of having an English certificate. Yeah, that would be it.
Yes, in any case, especially if you're coming from a non-EU country, in any case, we suggest you to check like the rules on the website of the Italian embassy or consulate in your country, just to verify if they need any additional documents such as the certificate. Okay, thank you. So, another student is asking where the entrance exam is going to take place.
Yes, From this year, actually, because some of you may have followed Cattolica through the last 2 to 3 years. For this year in particular, we have the okay for our from our from our Rome office to administer the entrance exam online through a proctoring system, but it's going to be online on the 18th of March, as I said. If there is too much demand, we also are going to organize an extra session the day after on the 19th. But for everyone planning to take the exam, it's definitely going to be online for Rome.
Thank you. And could you also remind us, Julie, how many students we accept? Because we also received a couple of questions about how the pools work and how many places we have.
Yes, absolutely. So the pools work in this way. We have a non-EU pool and the EU pool. For Rome in particular, we have 70 slots dedicated to the non-EU pool and 40 slots dedicated to the EU pool. So if you are from a non-EU country and you have a non-EU passport only, you will be part of the non-EU pool. And if you have an EU passport, or if you have two, but one of the two passports is a EU passport, you will be assigned to the EU pool, okay? We accept in total 110 students in Rome. So it's pretty easy. There's two separate rankings. So the ranking for EU students and the ranking for non-EU students, they're two separate documents, two separate rankings.
Perfect. Thank you. So our next question actually is for Kashif, because some students are curious to know more about how the social life is in Rome for international students. So I think that you can tell us more about it.
Okay, so like I said, there's a lot of people from different countries that come to the university, and also if you live in the dorms which are provided by the Educat company, you can also get exposure of many students that come from different countries or even from the same country but from the different states of the country for my case. Like that also you can establish a group of friends from the dorm itself, and in the university the juniors, the seniors, everyone's like together. I know people that are friends with the upper years, and from the same class the lower years also come and hang out with us, so it's very intermingled. There's no segregation as such, as to what I know. Especially in internationals, everyone just bounds to be together with everyone.
Okay, great. Actually, our next question is also for you, because some students would like to know how exams work. So, for example, what happened if you take an exam and then you fail? What happened?
Okay, so I'll tell you in brief of the exam sessions we have on a yearly basis. It's on February, April, December. No, sorry, February, April, June, July, December. So February is one session. Let's say if I have the first semester exams in February and I don't clear it, I could give the exam in April. And even if I don't clear it in April, I can give it in June, July. June, July is one session. So you can give the exams as many times as you want. Like I said, there's no deadlines to meet, so you can give it at your own pace. For example, if I give an exam in February, and in April, I won't be here in Rome due to an Easter break or anything like that, I could skip the April attempt and give it directly in June, July, the exam which I failed in February. And after clearing that exam in June or July, I could give the exam of the pending exams. Like, for example, if I have an exam pending from last year, I could pass that in July and at the same time study for the exam which I have this year, which I'm currently on with, and pass both the exams. So it's very flexible. You have like 4 sessions a year, and you can give them how many ever times and whenever you want. I also know cases where people skip the February attempts and give it directly in April, and within the same session, you have 2 dates.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yes, because I see from the questions that our audience wants to, of course, know about how to apply and so on, but also they want to know from you. And in fact, another student from the audience is asking if you could explain your typical working day at the university especially during your first year, how your timetable and courses were, how you interact with other students, how you organize your daily life in terms of course preparation, transportation, your basically student life at the campus.
Okay, so I'll start with the campus itself. We have lectures from 8 in the morning, 8:30, to it could either be one lecture to four lectures. So I could have days where my classes end at 10:30 or 11:30, and it could go all the way up till 5:30. And there has also been cases where my lectures have ended at lunchtime, 1:30. So it's very flexible. You get a schedule beforehand of your lectures for like the entire semester. So there's no worry of going to classes last minute. Obviously, that tends to happen where the professors are busy and they cancel out, but for like 90% of the time, it follows what's in the schedule. So you're given the schedule beforehand, and I live in the dorms, which is, let's say, 3.5 kilometers away. So I have a public transport pass, the Metro bus from ETAC, and due to which I can travel using the buses, metro, the trains, and I have to reach the uni. I have to leave my dorm like 1 hour before the class since I have 3.5 kilometers of distance. Also accounting the traffic I face in the morning. So I reach uni at that time, and obviously people come to the classes. We've had like three buildings of the campus where classes are held, the Institute Biologici, the Polo, and the Gemelli Hospital. So the first years of classes was in the first building, the Institute Biologici. I'm sure you can find the pictures online. It was an amphitheater classroom. Over there, professors come and one lecture lasts for like 2 to 3 hours, and you have like 45 minutes break. Every 15 minutes break in 45 minutes. And that's when you can wind down, talk to other people. And I'm telling you, in the first few months, try to socialize as much as you can, especially in the first week itself. There'll be many people approaching you and they'll want to just know you, where you come from, how was your flight, how was your visa process, everything is talked about. And as per managing my schedule for studies, I usually tend to finish up on the same day if I have time, at least in the first year. If not, by the weekend, I accumulate whatever work I have remaining and try to finish it by the weekend if I have like long lectures or just long days.
Okay, that's very interesting and I also think very useful for all our prospective students because I mean I think it's still very important to know not only the all academic part of the program, but I mean how the student's life is going to be. So Julie, could you repeat us how tuition fee works and scholarship work?
Yeah, absolutely. So the tuition fee, as we said before, is an 18,000 euros tuition fee. It is flat, meaning that it doesn't really matter where you come from, who you are, how much your parents make, or where your parents make money. This is unusual in the sense that sometimes, if you want to study in Italy, they will ask you all of the above questions before telling you how much the tuition fee actually is. And we don't have that. We just have the flat tuition fee of 18,000 euros per year. Regarding scholarships, there are some scholarships available, and you can definitely go on the Educat website. Educat is our entity that takes care of everything student related. So they also take care of accommodation, they take care of scholarships, they take care of cafeterias, so they take care of everything that happens to you when you become a student. So if you go to the educat.eu website, you will be able to find all the information, how to apply, and if you qualify for scholarships. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we still have some questions about the entrance exam, and especially regarding the preparation for the entrance exam. And Kashif, do you have maybe some tips that you would like to share with our students?
Okay, for the section which is not like the reasoning, theology, and the reasoning logic questions, I 100% suggest to go through what the university gives, the 3,000 question sample, because that for me helped a lot and I did not use anything else outside it. As for the sciences, the university also provides the preparation courses, but I can also suggest that your high school material is sufficient. That will be enough for you to get your exams through. And you have the, again, videos are available on the internet, like a lot of videos. It's, you just name the topic and you'll find the videos on the internet. And even if that is not enough, preparation courses, because they would know what it is for the exam to come. And also the simulation which they provide once you apply for the university is also very helpful, because it gives you an idea of how the exam works and you can make your own environment and pretend as if you're giving the exam. So a lot of options are there. Do not worry about the exam at all. Just practice.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think that we have answered like most questions that we receive. And of course, if you still like have any other question, you can contact us by email. Julie is going to share our contacts at the end of the presentation. So Julie, the floor is yours now.
Again, thank you. So, thank you very much for staying this long, first of all, and thank you for the oh so many questions. I see there were 100+ questions, so I'm impressed by you guys and your curiosity. So, what can we say more? Well, first of all, I actually read a question about this one. So, yes, we do have a program in Bolzano, and I am definitely going to tell you more about this one because I think it's interesting to know the options that you have for studying at Cattolica. So, as I said, the biggest peculiarity of this program is that we teach at Bolzano. Okay, we teach it at Bolzano. Bolzano is in the north of Italy, in the mountains, and it is a double language place. So it means that they speak two different languages. They speak Italian and they speak German as well because of the proximity to Austria and to Germany. So for historical reasons, they have kept both languages and they speak both of them. So that means that your internship language can be English and can be German and can be Italian. So you have three different languages in which you can take your apprenticeship. Usually this would be a really good option for students who have already a knowledge of German, or students who actually are German or Austrian or any other place where German is spoken. We teach this program at Claudiana, the Claudiana Health Professions University Center. So it's a very nice hospital, pretty brand new actually. The structure is very new, and another difference when it comes to Bolzano is the application opening, application deadline, so application timeline in general, because applications for Bolzano will open in mid-January 2025, and they will close in the second half of April 2025. I forgot to put the year, but of course it's 2025. And the entrance exam is going to be a little later on in the second half of May 2025 again. The application fee is, as I said, 200 euros. This is not gonna change, and the places available are actually 60. So I said 50, I don't know why, it's 60. So if you are considering applying to Bolzano as well, you can do so. Beware that this is the only program that allows you to apply for both the cities, both the campuses. because otherwise in other programs that we have, usually you would only be able to apply to one single course. So in the case of medicine, you can definitely apply to both. You can take both exams and you have two different rankings, meaning that if you pass the Rome exam, but you prefer the Bolzano exam and you scored better in the Bolzano exam, you can definitely choose to go to Bolzano as well. And that would be Bolzano in a nutshell or in a slide, as you may prefer. So if you are not really into medicine, which I mean can happen because students sometimes when you choose your path, you're like undecided between medicine and I don't know, psychology or food production management. Sometimes it happens. We do have some students who are pretty undecided. So we have 8 other undergraduate degrees to choose from. We wanted to let you know and to remind you that we do also have 8 other undergraduate degrees to choose from. Some are taught in Brescia and Piacenza. Most of them are taught in Milan. They are 3 years long because they're undergraduate degrees. Medicine is 6 years, actually. I don't know if I've said this before, but medicine in Italy is 6 years. So absolutely, the rest of the programs would be a 3 years program. We have business and finance, economics and management, international relations and global affairs. So those are all business related, of course. So they're a really nice option. We also have a criminology program. It's a new program, a very renowned psychology program. So very interesting. Food production management also, and communications management if you want to go into marketing and communication. So that would be it. I think we have yeah. We had time for questions and answers before, so we are not gonna take some more time from you because the webinar time is almost over. We don't wanna keep you for longer than needed. So if you have any other questions that we did not answer, if you have not yet applied, you can contact international.inquiry@unicat.it. If you have applied already, you can send an email to the international.admissions rm@unicat.it team. This is the team from Rome. They will answer all your questions once you are an applicant from our for our university. There are a lot of information on our international.unicat.it website, so make sure that you read through it, you search through it thoroughly, because there's going to be a lot of information that maybe is hidden from you or you haven't read yet, but there is a lot of it on our website. If you want, you can follow Cattolica International on Instagram. You can definitely go see how our community is doing in Milan, in Rome, everywhere, because we're a big community with 5 different campuses all over Italy. So it's interesting to see, what they do and how they do it. We also have a Facebook page at UCSC International and a phone number that you can call whenever you want. Please be kind because there's a lot of people who call us. So if we don't immediately answer, be patient and call again. And that would be it for today, where I really thank all the 155 people who stayed this long and all the people who have stayed through the webinar. I'm really happy that Kashif was here as well. So a real huge thank you to Kashif. I'm sure we will meet again in another webinar, possibly. And thank you, Fede, for moderating the questions. Okay. We are going to close the webinar. So thank you very much again, and we'll see each other maybe on the open days. There's going to be an open day this weekend in Rome. If you are close on the 30th of November, you are definitely welcome to come around. Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, guys.